On this episode, we bring back three-time guest, part-time DJ, and full-time faster to see how juicing has reshaped his life. My guest is Laturel, and every time he comes back, I'm reminded what it looks like to give yourself to something bigger than us. Since episode 6 and episode 54, Laturel has launched Juice Lyfe. What does he know about juice? Nothing, except how to research it. Between Google and the Bible, he found the answers that didn't just change his life, but changed the lives of those around him. We also talk about his dad, whose transformation was so impactful, he accused Laturel of spiking the juice with Viagra. Let's jump in.
Taller?
No, you're good. I just couldn't see your face. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to see your face. It's been, I've really been thinking about just getting like lapel, like just little. I mean, I have them just like little mics, and just using that audio, right? Because then it'll feel, well, then it just feel really real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's cleaner.
But there's something cool about like having a microphone. Right.
It's a nostalgia. You can go either way.
What kind of microphone do you use when you DJ?
Regular. I have a Shure wireless, and then I have a lapel.
Oh, nice.
So I use a lapel when I don't want to be worried about picking up the microphone. I can just turn it on and off. But I use a lapel at work too. So I'm used to using a headset.
That's cool though.
Using the headset at work. So. It just feels good.
When you this will be, I want to talk to you about different stuff, but this will be my last DJ question. When you started DJing, there's strings and issues. When you started DJing, what did you use? Records or CDs? Records?
Yeah, I started off with records.
Okay,
and then went from records to the Serato. Serato opened up everything else.
Like the computer?
Yeah,
like
Serato took the vinyl world and crossed it over with digital. So Serato uses a vinyl controlled record that sends a high-pitched signal through the mixer that sends a signal to the software that allows you to manipulate the song as if you had flip the record. So instead of flipping records to go from Biggie Smalls this to LL Cool J that, now you can type on your computer, pull up the MP3, put it on there, and control it on the vinyl.
Wow. You've not always been this in touch with everything, right?
No.
So describe to me that person and why that person was out of touch, right? And how you got yourself more connected.
But basically what you're asking is, if I'm understanding, who I am now, what happened in my life to get me here?
Yeah. If you haven't always been this person, who were you before?
Before I was like anybody else. I was in the world chasing the American dream, chasing the careers, raising kids, sleepwalking.
Right.
Yes. For the remaining part of your life, I say late 20s, early 30s. You're chasing the dream. College, if that's was put into your area, if that's military, you're chasing career, raising a family, buying a house. When you're in the career, trying to get promoted in the career. So you're not really in touch with what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a series of events. I call them come to Jesus moments.
Okay.
This is
what I wanted.
Where you have to So you know what? There's something bigger here. There's
Mhm.
something that's much bigger than what I'm dealing with, and I need to figure this out because I don't want to keep repeating these lessons. And when you come aware of your life force and your existence and your time, you start to look at like, whoa, like I haven't really gotten anywhere being hard charging, you know, being career driven, ready to forsake everything, for this, you know, that ain't really got me that far. I'm still wanting something, I'm still starving, for something. My health is not the best, because I'm chasing these things. You're not getting proper sleep. You're not even knowing what eating right is. You just eating. So you're doing like everybody else. You're drinking, you know, you're having the late nights, you're going to the birthday parties and having the market, you're doing all these things, but you're not aware that that's still not satisfying you.
You're
And then
unconscious, right?
you're totally unconscious because you're plugged into something that's not real. I have a saying where I say, this is the dream within the dream that you'll never remember. But what you do within the dream will be, right?
Say more. Say more.
So we don't know what's on the other side of this, but we know this is this, right? And you can argue with whatever you want, but the richest man in the world still got to pass through this door, right? Me and my wife just had this conversation, and oftentimes we're not aware of who we are. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because we have all these things, you know, to distract us. And then we wonder why we're not satisfied in life and we're not reaching the levels that we could reach. And then when we think that we have reached those levels, we're still not happy. You know what I'm saying? And that's because you've gotten detached from self. The things that the soul wants is very simple. You know, life is so simple. We'll talk about some things that
No,
that
go.
help get me
Tell me.
in
Go.
in in
Go. Go.
tune. Fasting,
Yeah.
you know, fasting has really given me an insight to life that's so simple.
What do you like about it?
Um, it gives you an idea of what your source is. I grew up I think the last time we talked, I was doing carnivore.
Mhm.
I was doing the carnivore diet. Well, at New Year's, I read the book of Daniel. And in there in the book of Daniel, Daniel had challenged the guards to only feed them only fruits and vegetables for 21 days. And they challenged that they would look better, than the people eating the king's meat, right? So they did that. And of course, we know how the story went, right? So the light bulb went off. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not eating that. I'm eating meat, and that's all I was eating. No bread, no sides, and I was just eating meat. That was it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this. And I went on. I think it was like 7 days. And that was okay, but I didn't feel like that was challenging. Enough. And then I saw a Kevin Gates podcast, and he was talking about his journey in fasting, and I was like, and I'm seeking enlightenment, so I'm like looking for something. So I went into the Bible again and started reading. Got to talk to my dad, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna do a 21. So I went on a 21-day fast. Well, out of that 21-day fast, I had this urge to go buy a juicer. I don't know. I didn't know nothing about no juicer. Zero. I couldn't tell you nothing about any of that, right?
So what do you think made you like want to go get a juicer?
Well, I don't know how to cook fruits and vegetables.
So you're like, I'm just gonna juice them.
I said I didn't have no other choice.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I was eating little fruit bowls where I would eat like blackberries, strawberries, uh, And I would do that like once a month. I like to make a big old bowl, and I thought that was doing something, you know. Um, but I don't know how to cook no greens. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to do with no beets. You see, so it was like, I mean, I gotta juice it,
Yeah,
right? So went to Walmart, bought this big old NutriBullet, right? I just bought the best one that they had. You know, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to invest. We're gonna figure it out. So I bought this NutriBullet. Get to the house. I don't know what I'm putting in this thing, right? You know, the Lord just put it on me. Get a juicer out. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, all right. So let me juice with what I like to eat. You know what I mean? Let me start with that, right? So I started, writing a book on everything I was doing, just in case.
Right.
Just in case it was good. I was like, just in case it's good, I want to remember it, right?
Yeah.
So started putting stuff in there. At this time, I was coming out of working security at Whataburger. And I was Crunch Fitness had just opened up around the corner. Joined there, joined the gym and stuff. So I'm in there, I'm working out, and I'm like, man, I gotta figure this out. This juicing thing, because it seemed like this is going to be something. So saw a Dr. CB video, listened to a Dick Greger video, and I started meditating, right? Because I don't know nothing. I'm like, I know it's something to why this is on my heart. I need to do this, right? And I have no references at all. So one day was drinking that high C, that VA Splash, the VA Splash.
Yeah.
And I was looking on the side of it, right? And I was like, I called my dad because, he was a gas plant operator. I was like, Dad, listen to this. And I was reading him, the labels. I was like, I shouldn't need a periodic table to drink my juice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this is crazy. So I was like, I got to figure this out, right? So I went to the Bible, right? So I'm up late night because I'm working at Whataburger from like 10 to 3 a.m. So I ain't got nothing but time. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to the Bible. My curiosity wanted me to find out. Okay, well, what are the oldest fruits and vegetables and seeds, right? Like, what's the oldest, right? I said, let me just start with that. Because, if it's in the Bible, it has to be something to it, right? So I started writing down some stuff. Figs was in there, pomegranates, cucumbers. It's a whole list. Like in Exodus, it's like a whole list, right? So I'm like, okay. So I started like putting stuff together. I said, well, let me put the stuff that's purple with the purple, and I'm gonna call it purple power. So that's what this is, right? So this is beets with blueberries, blackberries, jicama, rosemary, ginger, turmeric, lemon, lime, dill, fennel. I have fennel in here. I couldn't tell you how to cook fennel, but I can juice it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All that's in there, right? So I was like, all right, I call that that. And I was like, all right, well, I like orange juice, right? I can't buy that orange juice no more. I know it's not orange juice, right? And they say carrots is good for you. So I'm like, well, let me put carrots and oranges. So I was doing carrots and oranges. So true story. I always look to have interactions with people, right? Because
Meaning what?
when you go to the store and someone random just starts talking to you, but what they're talking to you about is in alignment with what you're doing or what you're thinking. So you're like, wait a minute, I'm gonna listen. It's something I'm listening to. So I was in Killeen, and I was telling my mom about this juice, and she was like, oh, that's too expensive. That fruits and vegetables cost this, and this, and that, right? So I'm in Killeen, and this guy, I got this bucket full of all this stuff. He's like, what you doing? I said, oh, I'm making a juice for my mom now. He said, what kind of juice you making? I said, oh, I'm making a carrot and an orange juice, right? He said, man, I'm going to give you the tip of the day. I was like, yeah. He said, add a pineapple. Like, what? Change the world. Just change the world, right? Because I didn't have I didn't have, once again, I have no references.
Right.
So I didn't know what to use to create my water base. So, I went through the watermelon phase. I didn't like that. I went through all these different phases, and it was just like, you know what? I do like pineapple. So went with that. So that unlocked the orange, right? So I needed a green juice because now I'm seeing all these videos on my algorithm about got to get your greens, got to get your greens, and I don't know how to cook no greens, right? I could tell you how to cook no greens, Scott. So I just started grabbing some green stuff together, and I settled on with the spinach and some watercress, and then I put all that together, and I said, you know what? I don't have nothing with no apples, so I add green apples. So everything in the green is green, right? And that I call that mean green, right? So I said, you know what? I'm not drinking no more Red Bull because I was drinking 3 Red Bull a day.
Oh wow.
That was way too much.
Yeah.
Along with coffee, that was way too
Man,
much.
you're on fire.
Terrible. It's terrible.
Did you sleep ever?
Well, I don't really sleep. I take naps.
But you take naps ever?
But yeah, it was terrible, bro. But so I can't continue on like this. So I went on that, started drinking the juice solely. That's when I sent you. We went to New Orleans, and I didn't have a name, for the juice. Went there. One of the artists that I like is Currency, and his brand is Jet Life, right? So after leaving there, hung out at his shop, sat in his back area and everything.
Oh wow,
dude, you got to go there.
So cool, huh?
His shop is amazing. It's a whole vibe, and I was like, you know what? I would like to have a juice shop, like this where people could just come, lounge, catch some vibes, buy some fresh pressed juice, go chill in the back. You know what I'm saying? So that's so when we were coming back from New Orleans, the name Juice Lyfe came to me, right? Lyfe, right? So now I'm drinking this juice and I'm seeing these changes going on in my body, right? So everything, all the recipes are a year and a half old now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you fine tune them over that year and a half, right?
Yeah, I haven't drank anything else.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've not had any. That's how come I, politely turned down what she had offered. I haven't drank anything else because I understand that in this lifetime, you're going to drink more than you eat, right?
Right.
So what you drink also can cause you diseases.
Fair.
Right? We're made of liquid. We have to drink something.
Right.
Right? So there's a population, we'll say the 15%, right, which is the industry. They understand this fact, right? So that's why we have Kool-Aid.
Right.
That's why I have V8 Splash.
Right.
That's why because you got to drink something.
Right.
Right? But after you drink that, you're still thirsty.
Right.
Right? So I figured out that all that stuff has sugar and salt. So back to my protest against the juice industry, right? So I'm like, wait a minute. If pharmaceuticals, right, most of their stuff is synthesized off of things nature already does. Like when they're taking their compounds and making a compound, there's something in nature that does that already.
Right.
Right. So that told me that everything that man is doing is copying off of what God already made. So if God already made it, we need to be doing what God already made. So that took me down a whole nother rabbit hole. So then I went on I just finished a 40-day fast this year. I went from the 3rd of January through the 13th of February. Just juice. Just juice. On the 4th day, I did raw nuts and seeds. Fruits and vegetables only. That was it. I ran my gym. I'm a group fitness coordinator at Crunch, and I also teach all the classes. So I teach everything except Zumba. I do Pilates, I do yoga, I do group fit, I do all that stuff.
Man.
And most of those days, I taught 5 to 6 classes, in various environments. Right, and I was fast. Nobody knew. That was just something that me and God was doing. And it sustained me. Everything about me changed. My physiology changed. And that just told me that the answer is in the food. He already put the medicine there.
100%.
But we have to consume enough of it.
Yeah.
right? But we don't know how. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with Juice Lyfe, it makes you think about, why am I drinking this, and what is it doing for me? So when I went on that fast, what it taught me was what I need and what I don't need.
Right.
Right. I know I didn't need all that food, but
Yeah.
you do need food. I'm not saying you don't need to eat.
Yeah, but we
But
don't need nearly the amount of food
we
we
don't
think we
need
need.
all of what we have
Yeah,
to eat.
we got way
right?
too much.
And the body has so many more functions. Like there's this thing called mucoid plaque. It's like this little black little snake thing that sits inside your intestines, right? Yeah, but you never get to release that if you're constantly eating.
Oh, wow.
If you're constantly eating, the other functions that your body have, it never gets to it.
Yeah. It's constantly inflamed,
It's just,
right?
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So when you fast and you take away and you strip everything away, now the body has to figure it out.
That's right.
So when I go on my fast, I give my body a 3-day break. My digestive system gets a 3-day break. It don't get to digest nothing
Yeah.
besides some water and a little juice. That's it for the first 3 days. Usually about that 4th or 5th day, you're still going to be having bowel movements, and you know you ain't ate nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's that stuff.
That's just stuck in there.
Just stuck in there that never gets released. If you never release that, you're going to be sick.
That's right.
Yeah, you're going to be sick. Right? So with the juice, right, I put all these ingredients together, so I started looking them up, right? I was like, let me see what's going on, right? So I look up beets. Like, oh, beets is good for opening up your blood pressure. Or it's good for sports. And I started looking at the pre-workouts.
Yeah.
Pre-workouts got beets,
Yeah, that's right.
right?
Right.
So I'm like, huh. So I'm like, okay. So I started going to H-E-B, and I started walking around and looking at different stuff and typing in juice benefits. You know, anything I saw, if I had a question about it, I just type in Google what, and if I like the benefits, I was like, oh, I like that. You know, my body needs that, right? So essentially, right, so when you look at this, you see these bubbles,
Right.
right? Now on here, the adjective that God gave me was SAG, right? Smart Adaptive Juice. Now, what does that mean? When you get a pill, right, that pill is pressed down into a bunch of granulars, and it's a bunch of things, right? So when you take it, it goes in and it does something, right? It's my belief that because the juice is cold pressed, it means that it's not heated,
Right.
right? So the nutrients and vitamins and all
Stay.
that stuff is still there,
That's right.
right? It's still in there, right? So I believe when I add stuff like yucca root, right, which totally reset us as men. So it's a lady named Tabitha Brown, right? Influencer online, great interviewer, right? She gave me a cheat code. She said, when you're looking at any fruits or vegetables, nuts and seeds, whatever it looks like, that's what it's for, right?
Okay.
So when you see a walnut, it looks like a brain.
Yeah.
It's good for your brain,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When you open up the chamber of a pomegranate, looks like a heart, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's good for your heart.
Wow, that's crazy. I never thought of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it made it so simple. It made it so simple, right? So when I was going on this fast, I said, all right. I said, you know what people don't talk about? They don't talk about Jesus' diet.
Yeah.
They don't talk about what he ate. You know, they talk about the miracles.
They talk about it anywhere in the Bible? Is it anywhere in the Bible?
Yeah, I mean, look, he tells you. What did he feed people? Fish. He ate fish. He ate fruit. What did he want? He wanted fig, right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So also in there, right, when you look in stories of the Israelites walking through the wilderness, how many times did God feed them? Twice. How many times did the raven feed Elijah? So I was like, okay, so we're supposed to be eating more than twice a day.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just looking at what's already there. Right? So now I'm experimenting with it. So I give my dad some of this juice. Right? I said, Dad, you gotta try this juice, right? He calls me back. He said, "Hey, son." I'm like, "What's up?" He says, it's so funny. He said, "You know about that Viagra stuff, right?" I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Yes, sir." He said, "Man, you didn't put none of that in here, did you?" I was like, "No, sir." I was like, "What's going on?" He said, "Man," he said, "You got something here."
He's like, this juice has the wrong name. This juice got named wrong.
I said, "Dad, I know. You know, but when you treat your body the way that it's meant to be treated, you're a plant. We're
Yeah.
dirt.
Yeah,
You get
yeah,
to
yeah.
walk around, right?
Yeah.
So the chlorophyll that's in the plants, when you break it, that's only one molecule off from blood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's why we're supposed to be eating greens. So the greens heal us,
Right.
right? But we can't cook them to death,
Right. Because they
right?
lose all their
To
nutrients.
lose all the nutrients.
That's right.
But you know, who all knows that, right? Who has time? Who has time for that, right? So when I went on this journey in this last fast, it just unlocked everything. You know, if you treat your body like a plant, you can't go wrong. You don't need a doctor, right? Because the first thing you do when you sit down with a doctor, what do you say? "So tell me what's going on with you,"
Right.
right?
Right.
You know what's going on with you. You ate them Twinkies, you ate that Whataburger last night, and now your blood pressure is sky high. Your sugar's all out of whack because you went to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it's common sense, right? So I don't claim to be like a vegan or nothing like that. But what I do,
You're
I
adding
eat,
that into your diet. Like,
I eat for digestive peace,
yes. Yes.
right? I eat for digestive peace. So it has to make sense, Scott. Like drinking all that stuff, it makes no sense. Like water, I understand you have to drink water. You know, I don't drink a lot of it because I drink a lot of juice because juice is H3O, which is way more denser and way more beneficial than H2O. You know, so H2O, I feel like is just there to flush the system because of all the toxins and all the things that we're taking in, but it has zero benefit, absolutely no benefit to our bodies, right? But when you replace that with something that's more beneficial, like live juice, now you're healing your body constantly. So back to the adjective, right? So what it means is every time you drink it, whatever that the ingredient is in there, whether it's the fennel, you know, whether it's the beets, whether it's the rosemary, whatever you're dealing with, whether it's brain fog, you need to feel full, or you need energy, you know, or you need to not have inflammation. There's something in there that's going to always be ready to activate. You're never going to get the same drink twice because your body is not the same every day,
That's right.
right? Body's not the same every day.
I mean, it's not the same every minute.
Every minute.
Yeah.
Every minute it's not the same. So when you're constantly bathing your body with something that's hydrating, that's beneficial, and science says carrots are good for your eyes. I ain't say that.
Right.
You know, I don't know shit about turmeric. You know what I'm saying? I just learned about turmeric last year. You know what I'm saying? But when you incorporate this and then you do it religiously and you replace that with everything else, you have no choice but to change.
Right.
You know, I didn't have no hair last time. I was bald headed.
Well, I thought you just shaved your head.
Nah, the hair wasn't growing.
Really?
Yeah, the hair wasn't growing. I was gonna go get these little injection things because people was going to Istanbul and getting these injections and stuff, and I was looking at some places in San Antonio, and I was just like, man, I don't want to cheat. And, you know, I don't want to cheat. So I called them, and I was like, you know, is it a one-time thing? And they was like, nah, you got to constantly come and get this stuff done. And I was like, man. And then all this came to me. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna grow my hair back. I said, I'm gonna grow my hair back. I said, I'm gonna do that. I ain't never had nails. Ain't never had nails. And I was like, yeah. And I became a product of my product.
Sure.
You know, my son says product, market, founder, fit. That's that's basically what happened organically. So I was drinking this juice, right? So I don't have no pre-workout now. So I'm like, damn, what am I drink for a pre-workout, right? So I was like, I gotta make one. So I started looking up fruits and vegetables that are good for sports
Energy.
and recovery
Yeah.
and energy,
Yeah.
right? And energy, right? So I put that all together. Boom. So now that gave me the confidence to start trusting. Because I was still on the edge. I was like, I've been on these pre-workouts and Red Bulls all this time. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I can trust it. I don't know if I'm gonna
You're
get
like,
the
I
same.
ain't trying to find out.
Right, right. So as it went on, I was like, oh wow. So I started drinking it, and people started asking me, "What you drinking?" But I visualized that. I told my wife, I said, I'm gonna take different colored drinks to the gym. I said, and people are gonna ask, "What you drinking?" You know, and then it's gonna go from there. So it went from there. Now I have about several clients, you know, in the gym. They're on the juice, you know, and I don't know like legally, right? And I thank God for that, bro, because it really changed my life. My granddaughter, she loves the green juice. You know, she's 2. You know, so I don't have to worry about that. You know, CMOS came to me that, you know, meditation and obedience. You know, so I fast regularly now. You know, I'll do 3
Like
or 4
daily?
days a month. I do a fast once a month. You know, well, I'll go in, you know, and pick like, you know, this week I'm a fast, or, you know, I'm doing this or doing that. And man, so much has changed um, because of that. You have such a peace. You know, you have a peace and a knowing that um, you're not in control, but you know who's in control.
Is there a hump you have to get over? Like you go like 2 or 3 days, like 48 hours, and there's like kind of a point where like it's a little tough, and then you just kind of zoom on, and it becomes really easy. Is that true or
I
no?
don't think it ever comes easy. You just have to you have to do what you're called to do, and that call has to be authentic. You know, it can't be for Facebook. It can't be for anything. You have to really be sincere in why you're surrendering. Like for my 40 day, I really wanted something. I was getting ready to turn 50. I just turned 50 in March, right? So I didn't want anything, but I wanted to submit and surrender because I wanted a better body,
Right.
right? I also wanted a job opportunity as well. And I felt that getting ready to turn 50, I'm really asking for a lot. You know, I've been doing, you know, I have worked my way up to this. You know, I had done a 7, you know, a 14 to 21. So, you know, I have done some fasts in between there. And I have felt like, you know what, I'm ready. You know, my dad called it the goat walk. You know, so I'm ready to do it. You know, and it was hard. You know, it was hard, but it was worth it because it's like graduating high school, right? It's hard, right? But it was worth it.
But you feel accomplished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, so um, mm, completing that 40 day for me um, was just as good as graduating college
Yeah.
because that was done spiritually. That was a spiritual deposit. You know what I'm saying?
Un-
We make a lot of earthly deposits, you know, but how much are you depositing spiritually? You know, and I felt like um, everyone should try to demonstrate some form of obedience because at the end of the day, that's where we're going,
right.
right? And I think we get distracted, you know, by all of this stuff. And then when we get the diagnosis, or we see someone close to us go that you think shouldn't have went because of this or that, now you want to start doing, you know. But how authentic is that? You know, you get so much more peace when you surrender and submit when you don't have to. I could have ate anytime I wanted to. I could have ate whatever I wanted whenever I wanted to. I could have talked about it on Facebook. You know, I could. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All of those things.
You did it for you. It was for you,
was
and
me.
and the connection to what's bigger than us. That's what it was
Right,
for. It was just
right.
those two things,
Mhm.
right? And you can't do that and do the other thing you're talking about. It don't work that way.
It don't work. And then from that, all of this stuff, you know, I tell people all the time, El, you should drink one of your juices.
Yeah, well, yeah, I want to. I mean,
Yeah, you're right. Is it where's it at?
Oh no, it's in the fridge. But
Okay,
I want
yeah.
you to finish.
Yeah,
I also have a question. That's why. Yeah.
I tell people when they taste, you know, those juices that's Coca-Cola before Coca-Cola, right? Because people still drinking Coke, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you would have told me I would have had the ability to make my own juice, I would have been like, how? You know, how? So you have to know when God sends you something versus when you think you created something, you know? And when God sends you something, you ain't got to sell it.
Right.
You ain't got to sell it. You ain't got to do nothing at all. You know, if nobody bought a bottle tomorrow, it wouldn't matter because my mission is to tell people that you're eating from the wrong table. You know what I'm saying? If you want to eat all that, that's fine, but don't complain about the sicknesses and illnesses you got. You have to take all these medications. There's a natural way to live. There's a better way to live, and you can change just a few things, right? You can change just a few things and get on the other side of this diseases, because most of the diseases that we put them in our mouth.
100%.
You know, we put them in our mouth. So I believe being able to control what we drink for the rest of our lives, I think that extends us. Because you got to figure the law of compounding. If you're drinking Red Bulls, like I was drinking Red Bulls, and margaritas and alcohol, like, you know, the average person, and you're bathing your garden with that, you know,
What kind of garden you
what
gonna
kind of crop you gonna have?
That's right.
Right? So I just honestly believe just feeding yourself like you would feed a plant, watering yourself the way you would water. You wouldn't just put water on your grass. You're gonna put some of that weed and feed. You're gonna add some of that evergreen stuff in there, some of that phosphite. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna add some enhancers.
Right.
Right? We're no different.
Right.
You know, we're absolutely no different. It's some stuff right there in HEB, man, that'll change your life. Just sitting right there in HEB, brother. It is I can name a couple fruits. I can definitely name a root right now that the average man that's going to the gas station getting them Panther pills. I'll just
Have we got a juice for you? We have got a juice for you.
You can save your heart. Just go to HEB. But no, seriously, man. Man, there's some stuff out here, bro, that I've been blessed to tap into. That's allowed me to do, you know, what I'm doing at my age, and I don't even feel it.
Great, right?
I really don't. My dad is 72, and he claims to be feeling like he's 35.
Was this pre-juice?
Yeah, it's all this juice. Yeah. After the juice, yeah. After the juice, his inflammation, all that stuff just snapped.
Yeah,
just went away. My mom, she was on her way to having kidney issues.
Darling, we're in the middle of recording. You gotta go back outside.
That's a quick edit.
Well, that's what. Okay, so your wife is here. So
yeah,
I know
you see it, right? Yeah. She's
So
been on
so,
the
so I
juice,
normally
too.
so I normally lock the door.
Yeah.
Right. but because your wife's here, I don't want to lock her out. And so like I left it open, and then like when I looked, I thought it was your wife, and I was like, oh, okay, she's coming in, and then it wasn't, and I was like, oh. Anyways,
It's all good.
okay, so you were talking about that your dad was feeling
My dad feels great.
and then who there was who
My
you
mom,
your mom,
my
right?
mom,
Yeah,
she was having kidney issues. I didn't even know that. So she started drinking it, and she started juicing. She started juicing a little bit, and next thing I know, she's telling me, "Oh, son, my kidney functions improved." I said, "Improved? What was wrong with them?" I didn't know you had a problem.
I thought you were gonna tell me she was gonna be like, son, my sexual life was going like really horrible.
No, no.
And you gave me that juice. I was like, wow, this is
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But yeah, so it turned around. So I was like, oh, wow. And then I had other people just kind of like telling me just different things that they were experiencing. And I was like, makes sense. So being a nerd, I look at the body as a program. So if we're supposed to have 1 through 102 of these essential minerals, vitamins, all this other kind of stuff, right? All right. And we never get that, you're going to operate how you've been operating.
That's right.
Right? But once your body gets introduced to the things that it didn't know it was deficient in, you're going to improve in some areas.
100%.
Right?
You have no choice. No choice.
Makes perfect sense, right?
Right.
So when you prepare your body and give it a clean environment to do that, you're going to instantly feel, because you've never had whatever the recommended doses of beets you're supposed to have, to get whatever a beet is supposed to do for you, right? But when your body starts getting used to that, you start to perform better. Right? So I'm like, this just makes too much sense. So now my philosophy coming out of the fast, if it's not beneficial for me, I can do without it.
You got to really weigh how important it is to you, right?
Right. What is it going to do for me? And why am I doing it?
Well, because I pretty much like stopped drinking alcohol, right?
Good, yeah.
But last night I went to a baseball game, and I was like, I'm gonna have a beer, right? And I'm not saying I regret that beer.
How did you feel?
Oh, I felt like shit. I mean, like, like the next day, not shit. Like, I mean,
no, not feeling like shit, but
I know it
your
didn't,
body.
Yeah, I know it didn't sleep well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm disconnected from my body, kind of like stuff, things like that, right? And as I'm drinking it, I was like, this is poison. Like, as I'm drinking it. But I was just like, I'm trying.
Just one last time.
No, it wasn't like a last time. I was like, I'm trying to have some moderation of just around like just life. And in that moment, the risk reward was like, I was like, I'm good with it. I'm good with whatever if this beer shortens my life by 30 minutes, like I'm fine. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? And so, but you have to go through that, and like you should be having those conversations with yourself. Mm-hmm, You're gonna put things into your body. You should go, like, is this worth what it's gonna cost? Like, you know what I mean? I think that's a really important thing. And then when you're doing things like juice, like you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. It's only benefit, just benefit all day long.
And until someone tell me that they overdosed on beets, I think I'm good.
Yeah,
I think I'm straight on that.
Okay, so, I have a 2-part question. I'm gonna go get this juice though. I have a 2-part question, but I'm gonna ask you so you can start talking. Okay, so you said way earlier, when I need blah blah blah, I just go to the Bible, and then you're like, when I need I just go to the Bible, right? When you say you go to the Bible, what does that mean? Like, where do you go? What do you do when you say you go to the Bible looking? Where do you go? What do you look? How does that go?
You want me to answer it?
Yeah, no, you can.
Yeah, oh, okay.
I'm gonna get this juice.
Okay. Great question. A lot of the times, when I just want a word, I just open it up, and wherever it is, I try and figure out. Okay, so why this page? You know what I'm saying? What's going on here?
Is there usually like a cut? Do you usually kind of figure it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it usually aligns.
Yeah.
It usually aligns. And then most times, I'm either listening to a sermon, and within there'll be a Bible verse, that'll resonate. Like today, for instance, it was a guy. He had a shirt on. I think it was on Matthew 14:9, and I'll make you a fisherman of men. Right? So if I was looking for purpose, duty, what am I supposed to be doing? That verse would stick out to me, right? Stuff like that. So when I was looking for food, I went to the Bible because it's in there. God lays out a whole menu of what we should eat, what type of animals with hooves, not hooves. It's all laid out, right? It's all laid out right there. So because of that, I'm like, okay, well, let me just step out of this matrix for a second and just, I'm a child of God, right? So this has to apply in some form or fashion, right? When you look at these diseases, I mean, I eat a burger on Monday. Let me just get that out the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Eat a nice big burger on Monday, right? That's probably the only beef I get. So that's 4 times a month, right?
Great.
Right. So I figure when God says something as far as not to eat this, not to eat that, it has to be a reason. It says plenty of fish in the sea, right? Every time Jesus went to the disciples, they were fishing, right? Anytime he fed people, it was fish. So I was like, what's going on with the fish, right? So now I'm interested in fish, right? So I started looking up. So I'm just going down this rabbit hole because the end goal is to be your best self, right?
Right.
Who wants to be on medication? I have a rule, we joke, me and my wife joke at the house about, I don't want to have nothing in the house that measures anything besides a measuring cup. I'm not measuring no sugars. I'm not getting no numbers. I'm not doing none of that. I don't want to do none of that.
Right.
Right? And there's a way to avoid that. There's a way to avoid that. And people think that you have to turn into this vegan or this soup. You don't.
No.
You don't. You just have to get in tune with your body. That's all you have to do.
Well, it's kind of like this. You like nothing personal, but people out there, you're doing so shitty right now. The improvement that you make, it'll make a massive improvement. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. Like, people don't realize how bad they're treating their bodies right now. If they just treat it a little bit better,
That's all.
you'd feel it. You know what I mean?
That's it.
And then you get
That's
addicted
it.
to like, man, my body feels like really good. You know what I
And
mean?
you start to develop, and that's why, fasting is the cure to all things, because you start to develop a religion. You start to develop rules and principles for yourself because you start to see what you don't need. And when you was on this and on this, how you felt. Now you're not drinking coffee or you're not whatever it is. Now you're able to concentrate more. You can connect those dots.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. At some point in your existence, you have to want to start feeling more better than good. When I say better than good, yeah, it feels good to go and have a nice tall milkshake at 11 o'clock at night and go to bed. But is that better for you? Probably not.
Probably not.
You know what I mean? Probably not. You're going to have a terrible upset stomach. You're not going to feel good. So it's just getting back in tune, right? It's just getting back in tune with being here. You have to be where your feet are.
You're connect. It's another way of that you connect to the earth, to everything, right?
Yeah.
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 How you take care of your vessel is part of that, but the things that you eat is how you connect back to.
It's really so simple. It really is. But we have complicated it with all
Distracted
these
it.
gurus and
There's a lot of people.
mindsets.
There's a lot of people ruin it for everybody else. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's just it's simple. So like sea moss, for instance, right? Sea moss is this algae that grows out in the islands, right? It just floats out there, right? This stuff has 92 of the 102 essential minerals and vitamins that you're supposed to have. I didn't say you're supposed to have them. Science says that you're supposed to have 102 of these essential minerals and vitamins. And this plant has 92 of them. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy, bro. But it ain't don't nobody know about it.
Do you know what I love about your sales point on this? Is because every time you sell it, you go, look, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I don't know. You know what
like
I'm saying?
Somebody way smarter than me said
way
that. Trust them. Trust them. You know what I mean?
I couldn't tell you what a carrot's supposed to do, but they say carrots are good for your eyes. I don't know.
Also, I was thinking like if there is like a zombie like apocalypse, right? You don't want to be on blood pressure medication.
Oh God.
You'll be screwed. Like if you're on any kind of medication that you need to get, like that's essential for you being alive, and there's a zombie apocalypse, you might as well just go ahead and just kill yourself early. You know what I mean? Do us all a favor, don't turn into a zombie. You know what I mean? Like just go ahead and off yourself like early, because like
For real.
like so like, you know, because I remember I used that analogy with my mom because she was taking like acid reflux medication, right? And I was like, well, like just stop eating like dairy and cheese, you know,
Or
like
Italian food.
or
That
just
was
eat
my
stuff
thing.
that's super rich, right? And I was like, well, there's a zombie apocalypse. Like you're gonna need, you know, you'll need that. You don't have to be stuck with that.
This final segment is brought to you by HeyJustBe.com. I believe that achieving balance in the mental, physical, and metaphysical aspects of your purpose through learning, serving, and creating can transform your life into one you truly enjoy living. Want to learn more? Visit www.heyjustbe.com.
Yeah.
All right.
It'll be
So how I usually wrap this thing up is ask people what do they do to just be the best version of themselves so they can be good for everybody else. And we actually chat off camera. I was like, I don't know, I kind of want you to talk about this. I kind of want you to talk about that. So maybe you could talk a little bit about what you do personally to show up as your best self, because I think that, you know, every time you've come in, there's this new evolution of you becoming a better version of yourself. You're like, oh, I added this to my arsenal. I added this to my arsenal, right? So maybe you could talk about that. But then also we were talking off camera that like you doing this juice, like, you know, you kept saying like I didn't know, so I just looked it up, or I don't know anything about this, so I just got on the internet and blah, blah. And that exploration and that learning process is kind of what I did with the podcast, right? And I think it's really underrated. Like people don't explore themselves that much. So maybe you could talk about also, you know, what that exploration of yourself has done for you in this whole process.
Okay. To answer how I show up, still wake up early. Still waking up at 4 a.m. I think that's what I was doing the last 2 times.
I think some people just that's a good time for them.
It's just
not a good
works.
time for me.
It just works.
It just works, right? Like I'll get up at 6 almost every single day. That time works for me based on when I go to bed.
Exactly.
Right? That's my schedule.
That's your circadian rhythm.
Yeah, that's my rhythm. You know what I mean?
That's your rhythm. So, you know, I still wake up early. Still go to the gym, you know, by 5:30. You know, get that in. You know, back then I wasn't a group coordinator, but now I'm a fitness coordinator now. So, you know, I go back to the gym, you know, 8:30, we do my walk around. I meditate between 2 and 3:30, you know, every day. You know, that's my time frame. You know, I give myself an hour just to decompress, listen to sound bowls, you know.
Do you used to meditate a lot more than that?
I did. I had more time.
Okay, but did it change the value? Did it change anything? The cutting back the time of meditation change anything? Is it better? Is it worse?
No. It's actually need to be a little bit shorter. You know, I could probably cut it to 30 minutes. Honestly, for productivity reasons.
I don't know. I would argue that hour and a half makes you way more. It can make you way more productive.
Yeah, but you know, you don't always need that. So, you know, I'm always looking to make time audits.
Tweak it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Tweak my schedule to make sure that I'm giving my best self, the best part of myself, to the hardest part of my day.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't want to tackle the hardest part of my day
As your worst self.
and I'm defeated, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I'm hungry. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to solve those problems very well. But if I have enough energy, I can handle, those tough moments a lot better and be in more control,
Right.
more control of myself. And you said,
Oh, there was a second question?
yeah, the
I
second
said,
one.
talk about like just
the
the
Juice
journey,
Lyfe journey.
the journey of learning. I mean, like of just like
Yeah.
the exploration and learning how that kind of, I mean, did it change kind of the way you look at life a little bit?
Yes, because we're told this food pyramid, and you're supposed to do this, and being in the fitness industry like you are, you have those 3 to 5 meals plus 2 snacks. You're right. You know what I'm saying? We got to get this protein. Got to get this protein, right? And I was just started looking at nature. Like nature's give us clues, right? And the silverback gorilla, he ain't eat no meat. He's pretty strong,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he's talking about eating protein. I'm like, okay, well, we eat for protein, ain't eating protein,
Right.
right? Cows and stuff, they eating grass and alfalfa and all this other kind of stuff to put on size,
Right.
right? So, nah, that's not true, right? So I just started just Googling stuff, really. I mean, Google is really your friend. Everything is in there.
Well, I think I heard somebody say like to be uninformed in this day and age is just like you're just choosing to.
You're choosing to.
Because there is good information. There's also bad, but like there is good information about your life. It's so great. We didn't have this before. Mm-hmm. If they had this 20, 30 years ago, maybe juicing wouldn't have been so taboo, for so long or whatever.
Right. So, going on this journey, it taught me that I could be a better self.
Yeah.
And I could fix myself. Not that I had anything broken, but once again, when you know that you're deficient, in areas, that you should seek improvement,
Yeah.
right? You should want to seek to fix that if you have it in your power to do. And I have it in my power to go to HEB.
Yeah.
I have it in my power to not eat, so much meat. I have it in my power to add a little more, green salad, to my meal. So the journey taught me that everything we need, God has truly already provided.
100%.
Like there's no argument, to it. And when you go on those fasts, right? When you go not on a fast to lose weight, but a true spiritual fast where you say, God, I'm going to live off your living bread. Feed me off your living water. And you stay close to the word and you abstain from some of this stuff. No one says it's forever. No one says it's forever. But when you abstain for it for a while, your body goes through changes.
That's right.
And they're not bad.
No.
They're not bad. Most of the seasons are fueled off of sugar. So if you eliminate the source, something has to go away. So I say, depending on what it is that you're wanting to fix, depends on how long you should fast.
Sure.
Right. So my initial, my first one was like a 3-day. I just wanted to see if I could, and it was okay, and I did. And then I got more information, right? And then I went on the 21. And off of the 21, that's when I had that mucoid plaque pass. And I was like, oh my God, what is that? You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh my God, that came out of me, And that's when I was like, oh wow, this is something, it's something to this.
Yeah.
Right? And then when I started adding the fruits and the vegetables and I started getting smart on these roots and these seeds and knowing that most of the things that we deal with as humans is circulation issues.
Yeah.
Right? Circulation. Right? So about 99% of what's in that juice addresses circulation. So most of the things that people have come and say that they feel better is because their circulation got better.
Your dad's circulation got better.
Oh, it got real good. Hey, his circulation is circulating.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah, man. So it just really unlocked me, man. And now I've always been excited about life, but now I have control over what I drink. So for me, I feel like I'm breaking the rule in the matrix because I'm not forced to drink what everybody else is forced to drink. And I understand that I have the power to drink what I want. So I tell people, you ain't got to drink my juice, but juice.
Yeah.
Just juice.
Get this in your
find,
diet.
Find something that works.
Yeah.
Find a combination that works for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And incorporate that. The problem with juicing is the cleanup,
Yeah.
right?
So
People
when
don't
someone
like
else
the
is doing it
cleanup.
for you,
So it's best to invest in the juicer where the cleanup is not going to distract you from doing it.
That's right.
Because I promise you, once you get together and you put a couple of juices together that you like, that you and your family like, and you know you can't go to the store and buy that, you're going to enjoy juicing. And then you're going to start feeling better. Your kids is going to start doing better. And over time, you're going to start looking better. And you won't have to deal with all this BS that's out here because everything out here is full of sugar and salt. Period. That's just it.
I wasn't gonna tell you this,
Mhm.
but a long time ago, I was like, I need to start juicing, and I bought a juicer, right? And I probably did it like maybe like 2 or 3 times. And you know why I quit?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was too hard to clean up, man.
Clean up.
I was like, fuck this.
Clean
It
up.
was
And,
hard.
the second thing, what I experienced, I didn't like to clean up, but that's not what made me invest into a better juicer. What made me invest into a better juicer and not quit was the fact that I felt that out of this bucket of berries, I should have gotten more juice. And I could see that the pulp that was left in
It's too
the
much.
juicer was still too much.
It was wasting it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It was wasted. So I was like, you know what? I just got to get a better juicer, right? So I got a cold press juicer, right? Cleanup's not so bad because everything comes out, goes into a bucket. I pour it out.
Ooh.
I take the components apart. Scrub them down. Dishwasher, done.
Nice.
Done. I got about 4 or 5, mason jars of juice in the refrigerator. I'm good. I'm good for the week. I'm good for the week. I got my green juice. I got my orange juice. And then I got smart. I got found blue spirulina.
Oh.
So
yeah.
So I'll take some blue spirulina sometime and I'll mix it with my purple. And that created another label called Blue Magic. So Blue Magic is, one of the juices mixed with blue spirulina.
It's also
Yeah.
was what the drug was called in what was that movie with where Denzel Washington played Frank White?
Oh,
But they
American
called-
Gangster.
Wasn't it called Blue Magic?
American Gangster. Yeah. Blue Magic. Yeah. That's where I got it from.
That's so funny.
That's where I got it from. Blue Magic. Yeah. And so that product came. So now we have Juice Lyfe1111. We have Moss Life. 1212. So
It's amazing.
Man, God is good. God is good, bro. I'm telling you, man. I'm defying things, and people are like catching on at the gym, like, man, let me try some of that juice. I see you running around here, and then they get on it, and they're like, whoa, like, hey, man, I'm just saying,
Hey, you didn't say
it's a
this.
better way.
You didn't say it worked.
Hey,
It just works.
it just works,
It
man. It just works, man. It just works. But yeah, no, I just was given this this philosophy, that simplified life for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's It's just that simple, and really, like, once again, the Bible is right there. Everything's in there. Is right there. And when you try it, and not so much read it, but actually pull the principles, out of there. Man, it works.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it works, my brother. It works, man. I'm proof. I'm proof. So tell me about you, man. What's new in Scottie Land?
Okay, we can't give people that yet. They're gonna have to watch a separate part. So you're a 3-time guest.
Yes, sir.
You gonna come back for a 4th time?
I can.
You can work that into your schedule.
Yeah, I can do that. I think I'll probably have some new changes to report by then.
All right, push that mic out. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.